All right, all right, all right. It's yours truly, Robert Phoenix, and we are here for Thursday. For all you working stiffs out there, you have one more day until you get 48 hours of respite. Where you don't have to wake up at a certain time and be in a certain place and talk with specific people, and it's there. It's all yours, just for you. But knowing my audience and you, not a lot of working stiffs. If you are working, I'm sure you are enjoying what you do. And if not, I'm sure you are attending to that on your private time, your private hours, because we promote well-rounded beings and we do not promote slavery or bondage. And that's why we're here. So welcome to the Astro Weather. I'm your Astro Weatherman. And I'm about to have a sip of coffee. Orlando's in the house. Right there. Before I get into the old meet and greet, I had an interesting experience regarding astrology, and of all places, Kerrville. So I was at the gym the other day, and the last thing I do at the gym is I do about a good brisk 10 minutes on the treadmill. And there was this woman that was, walking next to me, and she was having a phone conversation. And she had the buds in her ear, the pods, whatever you want to call them. And she's talking to this person about their life, and she's referencing astrology. And she's talking about astrology like this is what's happening now, and you're not supposed to fight against it. And you're just supposed to let it go and have things just, kind of washed over you. And you're supposedly, we're in this purification phase. So you're doing the right thing. I'm like, this is having an astrological conversation. And she was specifically talking about what's going on up there in the old heavens. I'm thinking back to this Bezos thing. I can't quite get it out of my mind. Oh, right. Yes. I had the late night, early morning epiphany. I was up very late last night, and I was spending a lot of time going down the Carmelo Anthony rabbit hole. Okay. So I have some strange kind of esoteric connections to add to the Carmelo Anthony story on 15 Minutes of Flame. That's there. But I've done some digging into Dominique Alexander, who is the guy that's representing the family, and his nonprofit. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Wait till you see what I dug up on Mr. Dominique Alexander. So you're not going to want to miss that. If you have any interest in peeling back the layers of this whole escapade, charade, ritual, reenactment of the O.J. Simpson debacle. It's like the O.J. Simpson. It's going to be the O.J. Simpson trial for the 2020s. Come join me on 15 Minutes, and I'll show you some stuff. All right, let me see. Oh, this Blue Origin thing. I got to share this. This I have to share. I was thinking about it and thinking about it. It's like, what is the significance Okay, we know that there are 6 women. We know they have their little symbols. They have the little patch. They have Commander Sanchez. I'm like, what's really going on here? Besides the fact that it might be fake. The name of the Blue Origin rocket was Shepard, right? Shepard. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is the New Shepard. Is that right? Just Origin, New Shepard, New Shepard. Okay, that was the clue I was looking for. That was the clue I was looking for. It is the New Shepard. That was the name of the rocket. Where are we? We're in Easter season. And what is this the season of? It is the season, in some ways, of the shepherd. The fisher of souls, the shepherd, right? Jesus, the shepherd, leading his flock. They are the new shepherd. This is why did they choose that astronaut's name here in Easter season? That is it. These 6 women, the divine feminine, the goddess worshiping Jeff Bezos, not the divine masculine, the feminine, or the father, mother, God, if you want to break it down into those terms. No, those 6 women cumulatively represent the new shepherd. That's what popped into my brain last night. It's like, why didn't I think of that 2 days ago? That's the significance. All right, let's get into the comments. Let's do a roll call. All right, who do we have here? Start from the beginning. Scott Jersey, right on top. Back and lead off. Scott, I'll have you know that I purchased a Cincinnati Reds cap. I almost wore it today. Mazda Mink, what's happening? Healing Heart, Rosie and House, Road Trip 1981. She'll be back later. California Contrary, no news is good news. That ain't that the truth. Ms. Behaving to Sue Leonard from down under. Queen Lisa's here from cold and sunny North Florida. Robert, please give definitions of asteroids. Today, my son is trining Juno. Okay, we'll do a little asteroid definition. 4 major asteroids, right? Juno is considered to be the youngest of the asteroids and usually associated with, believe it or not, the month of June, the early part, not the later part. It also has a connection with Jupiter as well. Juno represents fertility. There's a word that Dane Woodyer likes to use, fecundity, birth, creative potential, the beginning of something new starts. There are some people who will also look at Juno as a relationship placement. So theoretically, if somebody's Venus is conjunct your Juno, or somebody's sun, like a sun is, like if you were a woman and a man's Mars conjuncted your Juno, well, Juno and I know what will happen when that happens. So Juno is all about fertility and creative potential and new beginnings, right? It's related to this part. Okay. Next asteroid would be Ceres, which when you look at the symbol of Ceres, it looks like a shepherd's staff. Ceres is essentially the nurturing mother, usually connected to the month of September. Grains, the harvest of the grains, the grain goddess, right? So you have the child, and it's the thing that you nurture. That's what Ceres represents. It's the thing that you nurture. Then you have Pallas. Now, if we're using the the story of kind of feminine evolution expression. Callus is the feminine energy after the child that you birthed and the nurturing that you've attended to. When that child has been raised up, as they say, and leaves the house, then you have Pallas. It is the motherless or the childless mother. Usually it is connected to Hera, Hera being the consort of Zeus, the wife of Zeus, and it is related to pattern recognition. So why Hera? Hera was up there on Mount Olympus, and she and Zeus were looking down on everything. It's all just one big, gigantic soap opera on Earth. And these things happen. These dramas happen. You got gods, you got demigods, you got humans, you got sprites, you got elementals, and they're getting into all kinds of drama. You know, it's kind of like an ancient version of Dallas, only a lot saltier. And so what would happen is that Zeus would say, well, Hera, you know, what do you think is going to happen here with these three? And Hera would be able to tell him what was going to happen. She said, well, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is Well, why? Was Hera psychic? Maybe a little, but Hera had seen it all. She knew. She was cognizant of the behavior of the gods and the demigods. So it wasn't like she hadn't seen a few things. And guess what? She was accurate in her predictions. Why? She had pattern recognition. Then the last of the four major asteroids is Vesta, and it's the oldest, and it's the Vestal Virgin. That's what it kind of relates to, right? The Vestal Virgin. And Vesta has a couple different meanings. It's theoretically the thing in your chart that you want to invest in, that you want to have long-term gain with. That's right. Juno's a little short-term gain. You know what I mean? Vesta's long-term gain. Also, it looks like a lamp. We'll show you when we do the chart. It looks like a lamp, and it's a lamp, or it's a light that's flickering back at you from the end of your time in this mortal coil. And so Vesta is illuminating your path and giving you a light at the end of the tunnel, if you know what I mean. So there you go, artist seer. If the sun is trining Juno today, well, go do something new or get pregnant. All right, Jackie Delara is here. Steve is here. Zerwith. Good morning. I saw there was supposed to be a massive solar storm yesterday. Maybe that's why I put myself to bed at 8:30, very early. Yeah, there's been some talk about these solar storms. Stephen Burns is the guy I think you want to follow and stuff like that. Lena Winkler is here. Let's see what you have to till our minds. Let me till your mind. Mary Grether's here. Hi, Mary. There's Warlanda. Susan, Janine, my guy Salty Cow in the house. He's right there. Like and subscribe. Thanks, Salty. Hanging Laundry. The introspective woodworker, my man Ryan. Charlie from Biloxi. Brown rice and honey. Brown rice and honey for breakfast. I like that. Very breakfast at Champions. Yep. Go over there and sign up to Locals, the map, and the itinerary coming soon for the 11th House Tiki Tour of America. Dave Sullivan's here. My man Tom is also right there. There he is. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. Thank you, Tom. Lisa Ann White, the law. She's here. Moira's here. Yes, you can buy me a cup of coffee over there at Buy Me Coffee. Thank you, Ryan. Let's see. Oh, you got a Hanging Laundry's got a golden retriever. How fun. They're so fun. My Endless Road is here. Ginny says, this isn't necessarily biblical, but when many gather here, it becomes an Astro Weather party. There you go. I like that. Melissa Stanton, she was up driving before 5 a.m., and the energy of the drivers in Tampa were smooth and focused. We like that. We like smooth and focused drivers versus edgy Edgy, and we don't like edgy and unfocused drivers. That's the worst combination on the road. My man Neil from the Great White North, he's with us. What's happening, Neil? Dr. Jonas, saving Austin one tooth at a time. Perfect weather here in Middle Tennessee. That sounds like a place where everything is perfect every day. It's middle, right? Middle. The temperature's middle. The humidity's middle. The people, no, they're not. They don't get too fussed over about things. They're not too overexcited, and they're not too underwhelmed. They're right there, right in the middle. Esperanza Vanstaro. That's right. Come check out today's Rumble show. You will not be disappointed. I got the tea. Took me a while, but I got the tea on Dominique Alexander. Today's my Friday. Right on this road. You got a 72 4-day weekend. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. Amy Gill's here. So is Nicole DePaulo. We got a Shirley Losciavo sighting. Checking in from Chesapeake Bay. Let's see who else we have here. Sharon Lewis, Laura E, Kelly B. I still wake up early on weekends. That's good. If you wake up early on weekends, you can actually get shit done. That's the spirit of road trip. I like it. Let's see. Who else do we have? Yes, you like a reading? I do those. I am a professional. I'm a professional astrologer. And I'm not like to brag a lot. I'm a Virgo. We don't really do that. But I'm a pretty good professional astrologer on a personal level. Habitat. Maya Rose from Mexico. Good morning. Esperanza. She's not following 15 minutes of flame. Shamey. I did a big show yesterday on the two Carmelos, and I got more on that today. Stephanie Hunter's with us. Ratchet Boot. Green-eyed crow. I don't think the women went with anything. Very debatable, right? But that's the idea, though, right? The shepherd. That's the idea. Hence the name of the craft. But I'm with you, Hanging. I'm with you. It is a ritual. Claire sent you an email. Hope you got it. There it is. Neil's right there. Alan Shepard, first American space. Not the first women in space. First all-female crew. No, they're the new shepherds. Let's see. What else we have here? Sheepard. She-leopard. There you go. We got a little sheepard as well. Neil's a pretty good wordsmith. I know. I get texts. And some of them are quite clever. Let's see. Seeing Katie kiss the ground has had the song One-Armed Scissor at the drive-in stuck in my head. It says, pucker up and kiss the asphalt now. Alan Shepard went 16 miles high. Bezos leopards went 8 miles high. That's the name of the birds too, right? Let's see. Soul Secret Service, good to make it live. We're glad to have you here. Love the color. You know what, Stephanie? I consciously chose the color of the shirt today. I went through about 3 different shirts. Okay, this is where we're going. Thank you for the notice. Hey, happy birthday to Mayor Steve's dad. The big 9-0. Maria D'Ange is with us, representing Europa. Let's see. There it is right there. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. So if you're Thor, then he must be Odin. He must be Odin. It's Odin's birthday today. Of course, Odin's a Taurus. Lana, hi Lana. Love Stephen Burns. The guy's on it. Stephen Burns is on it. Zoom crash. Yeah, I know. I had a client, or I was about to have a client. That didn't happen. Let's see. Lorianne, love from Minnesota. Let's put Lorianne up here. Love back at you, Lorianne. One book I think he needs to write is for the person from birth to your first Saturn return. I could do that. Sherilyn Grayer, New Brunswick, Canada. Cancer movie does play Sherilyn there too. We wish you all the best on your move. May it be efficient and stress-free and graceful. Who else we have? Diane Evans is here. Well, we got a great group. The training aspect of something need me to learn. Robert is a great teacher. Let's see. Son of the right hand. Man, we got a crew here today. The guy I dated last was Virgo, and he definitely was bright. You know, maybe sometimes Virgos overcompensate. You know, it's like they have all the beautiful Libras on one side, and then they have all the larger than life Leos on the other side. Virgo's like the middle child. You know, it's got to stand up, stand out. It's got to say more, do more. Hey, look at me from time to time. I'm justifying a little bit. Just a little. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Damn, that shepherd thing. I know, right? It's just like, boom, they're the new shepherd. Oh, listen to this. Okay. This is on Steve. His name is William Rex. The King. The King. William. Will I am. And he's a Taurus, and he was a principal. I got to say, that's a tough act to follow. But if anybody can follow that act, it's our guy, Steve. Thor by the door. Okay. The new Next is with us. What's going on, brother? Hey, listen, really enjoy seeing your comments on the videos. So appreciation, new Next. Moon Sprouts here. The middle child is a Virgo rising. It was like having a mini mom to help me out. There you go. That always helps. I think we're all caught up. Okay. All right, let's get into the weather. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it. I'm sorry. Just channeling a little exorcist there. We got to do this little thing where I do this and I go back here and it doesn't show up. Yeah, there's no thing there, so I have to stop sharing. And then I have to do it again because I've learned how to deal with StreamYard's dysfunctionality and holding space for StreamYard. Somebody's got to hold space for StreamYard. It may as well be me. All right. Isn't holding space fun? Isn't it so much fun? I'm holding space. And they're like, yeah, you just keep holding it. You just keep holding that space. Meanwhile, I will occupy that space. Okay. Here we go. It must, I always feel it's the Sag moon, man. The Sag moon brings out the, how do I say this? The slightly sardonic side of me. I love the Sag moon. My Jupiter and Sag loves the Sag moon. It's like, yeah, I get to say things I might regret. And that's where we are, and it's training the sun. So party like it's 1999. I mean, there's an irreverence in the air, right? It's like, God, the world is so fucking intense. China now has 579,000% tariffs. Like the whole thing is so fucking surreal. And you're like, what? What? I mean, it's like the numbers, the stories are so bizarre. And then, well, decided to halt these for the next 90 days. And I mean, you don't know where it's going, up, down, right, left, don't know where it's going. And then you read these absurd numbers, and it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Now, are the chickens going to come home to roost? Is everything associated with China is going to go through the roof? Are you going to have to pay 4 times, 5 times, 6 times the price on Temu? I don't know. We're in uncharted territory. We're on our way to Gilligan's Island. Although I don't think it's going to be a 3-hour tour. But with this moon in Sagittarius trining the sun, hey, listen, have a few laughs. At the very least, have a few laughs. Poke the bear. Poke the bear a little bit. Because at least you can have some fun. While the world is running down, you know the line, you make the best of what's still around, but I think you should have a few laughs too. Look, jocularity, I think, would be the order of the day. It's a good word. It's a good word for Sagittarius, jocularity. The more that you can laugh, there's less of a chance that you'll fight, although there are times when you probably should fight. Tom came back, though. He was telling me that the town nearby, which is where Claire's doppelganger, Claire from formerly California, Harper, her and her guy, Steve, shout out to the guests in Harper. I know they're listening. They have been fighting this lithium ion battery storage facility. If you've been out here, Harper is unincorporated. It's about, I don't know, maybe 15 miles away from Fredericksburg. If you blink, you will miss Harper. Actually, you have to blink twice. And so they've been fighting this lithium ion storage battery facility. But apparently, whoever's running the show there in Harper gave these people a sweet deal. So the people are fighting. They don't want it there. And if you've ever seen a fire at a lithium battery storage facility, it is freaking biblical. It burns like crazy. It's super hot. You can't fight it with generally can't fight it with traditional firefighting technology. You almost have to wait till it burns out. So there are things worth fighting for. But you got to pick your battles. Or maybe with this Mars Sun square, maybe the battle will pick you. I mean, we get to this 29th degree. There's nothing left in Mars, right? There's nothing left. And usually that's when people, especially when you're getting to this cardinal square, that's when people need to feel alive. They need to feel alive. And for a lot of people, conflict is what makes them feel alive. There is this one episode of Dr. Phil. I used to watch Dr. Phil. And there was this one woman he had on there, and she was angry all the time. Angry all the time. And Dr. Phil brought her on there. He wanted to know, why are you angry all the time? So he did this, semi-clinical breakdown of her anger. Well, I'll tell you why she was angry all the time. It heightened her sense of clarity. Like when you're angry, the downside when you're angry is that you burn your adrenaline and your adrenals get shot, right? And then you wind up doing a bunch of things to keep your adrenals going, and most of them are not healthy. But with the anger part, like you are in a heightened state of clarity. Your reflexes are faster. Like there's just a kind of a more accelerated drive for a brief period of time. It's supposed to be that way, but you can't really sustain it for a long period of time. But that's where she was. Like she just wanted to be angry all the time because there's like a weird superpower in there. Like it helped her. Like when you're not angry, right? When you're not angry, if you're just really cool and calm and chill and peaceful, what happens? You have no boundaries. Oh yeah, go ahead. Take whatever you want. I mean, I know I'm exaggerating, but when you're angry, you have boundaries. You set boundaries. Don't touch that. Or whatever. That's mine. Stay away from it. This is what it does. And so more than likely she was action for not having boundaries to being angry. Said, well, this is how I set boundaries. This is how I keep me. This is how I single me out from everybody else. But it's a process that has diminishing rewards. So this is kind of what this day is. Okay, so watch out for people who are kind of running on empty, right? They're running on an empty, and they're not comfortable. Maybe they're kind of freaked, right? And so what are they going to do? They're going to poke the bear. They're angry. This is tomorrow when the Mars moves into Leo, boy, and we got that square to the sun and the opposition with Pluto. Maybe they can keep their anger on the shelf for a day, but tomorrow, look, the upside of this T-square is if you have been having a hard time getting things done, well, this T-square it'll be a fire starter. It'll definitely be a fire starter. Today is a day for people that are not accomplishing anything, or they're flatlined, or they have a certain amount of inertia, or they're bored, and they have to do something. Today's one of those days. So if you run across one of those people, who for whatever reason decides that they want to pick a fight or they want to be defensive, and remember Chuck Norris said the best defense is a good offense. So they're probably going to be offensive. Just go, whoa. Hold on a second. Do you know that anaretic Mars is squaring the sun today? Not only sun, but Chiron. You understand what you're attempting to do? You're in a desperate mode of self-validation. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to get angry. You don't have to pick a fight. I'm here right now to just validate who you are. You're a pathetic loser. That's who you are. That's who I'm validating. Although sometimes, honesty is the best policy, especially under the Sagittarius moon. But you can disarm them. What are you attempting to do here? You know, I always enjoy asking people questions. You know, when the shit's hitting the fan, or somebody's like saying something or going off, or like what are you attempting to do? What are you really trying to get at? And if you can just sit in the fire a little bit and just ask a pointed question, huh? What do you mean? What do you mean? What am I trying to do? What does it look like I'm trying to do? I'm trying to get shit done. Nobody ever gets any shit done. No, you're not. You're not trying to get shit done. What you're trying to do is order people around because you're not getting anything done in your life. But if you can order people around and get them to do things, well, sure as hell feels like you're doing something. I just love the Sagittarius, man. It's opposing Jupiter, jovial Jupiter. The jocularity is in the air. Jupiter is also, and the moon is also in a square with Venus and Saturn. The Jupiter, Saturn, Venus square. I'm having bad thoughts about that square. You know, there are all these like conditions where cheating is not cheating. Do you know what I mean? Like there's all these weird little rules that clearly were written by the devil. Hey, you know, it's not cheating. I do my champagne. Hey, you know, it's not cheating when you're having sex with somebody in another country, right? That's the Jupiter square Saturn. How could it be cheating? There are different laws in that country. The moon, Venus, Saturn square. Yeah, that's like the stay-at-home mom who kids come home and she's like 3 glasses into a bottle of wine on her third Marlboro. That's what that is. Kids, it's DoorDash tonight. What do you want? Do whatever you want. You got your dad's credit card tonight. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Get the lobster mac and cheese. You know what I like. That's kind of what we're talking about today. Look, Mercury Neptune conjunction. Kind of visionary, kind of creative, kind of exciting, kind of now, kind of wow. Wait till Mars moves in. Trines Mercury, trines Neptune. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. I mean, that is really potentially, it's a really creative time. Anybody out there that's ever wanted to write a children's book or get it going, start your engines. Okay, let's talk about our star today. All right. Today's True Hemp Science star today is none other than Alexander II. I am fascinated by the fucking Romanovs. Totally fascinated by them. This guy's interesting. his son, who eventually follows him in terms of succession, is interesting in a different way. Let's get to it. Let's talk about True Hemp Science, your one-stop shop for all things CBD. Let me get you a prop up there. In fact, I'm going to dose live right here on live streaming YouTube TV. Lumina, number G53. Go to truehempscience.com, check out all of their great CBD offerings. All of them are organically sourced. And guess what? You order $100 more, type in that 15MINS, and you will get the goodie bag, the Whitman sampler, the order within the order, guaranteed to have a couple of them high-powered gummies. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna love those gummies. $150 more, get your free shipping, always a 30-day money back. TrueHempScience.com. All right. Alexander II. What an interesting character. The United States would not be the United States without Alexander II. Why? He sells the United States Alaska. He had a beef with the Brits. We're going to get into that. Okay? He sells Alaska to the freaking United States. We would not be the United States in some ways. Well, there's other parts of this without Alexander II. What's interesting here is if you look at his Mars right here, right there, 17 degrees. You know what that Mars is doing? It's conjuncting the U.S. sun. And what else did Alexander II do? Oh, during the Civil War, the English were prepared to come back in. And they were going to jump in on the war and retake the United States. When you look at the Civil War, there's a lot of hidden hand shit going on there, right? What did he do? He set up a flotilla of ships to intercept the English Navy. Not only does he sell the United States Alaska, but he keeps England from becoming more involved in the Civil War than they could have been. Oh, they didn't like that, did they? Oh, no, they didn't. So when it came time to take the Romanovs down, the hidden hand of the crown was probably, and it's weird too, right? Because these people, the Romanovs, are German. They're German. They may have some Russian, but they're German. And they're related to the Windsors, who are the House of Hanover, who are German. So this guy was like, no. It was, you know, if it was a mob thing, it'd be like one mob family kind of against another, even though they may be related. So Alexander II we are not this country without this dude. Okay. Now he's noted for some other things that are quite interesting. He begins to reform feudal Russia. He starts to do land reform. He starts to do governmental reform. You can see the land reform, right? He's got all these planets in what? Taurus. And what is Taurus? Taurus are the things that we own, right? Things we own, material goods, land, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And his son, and Trudeau, and this is what he's here for, right? He's here to deal with property. And he does this kind of interesting redistribution of wealth, right? He's kind of reforming the government. He wants it to be less of a monarchy and more of a sort of modern style. They're moving towards a democracy. He's very interesting. He's got that moon in Aquarius, right? Which again, it's like looking at property from an Aquarian perspective. There's going to be a radical reform. He's a reformer. He's a very interesting character. And even the 11th house, right? Mercury, there's our Juno, right? The aforementioned Juno. It's starting something new socially, new social contract. But guess what happens? Guess what happens? The maxim, give them an inch and they'll take a mile. That's what happens. That's exactly what happens. Uranus-Saturn square, Neptune coming in right here, right? Kind of a wide square with Saturn. 8th house, other people's money, other people's property. Oh, he also has, with Mars in the 12th house, hidden enemies. And what happens to him? He gets assassinated. See, this is the weird part. This is the really, really weird part when it comes to social reform. Because the people who may or may not be clamoring for social reform, they take it as a sign of weakness. It's like, oh, look what they're doing now. That's our opening. Let's force them to do more. Let's force them to do more. Let's force them to do more. And eventually, they kill him. He's assassinated. And it's not good. Now, the next successor is Nicholas I. Nicholas I, it's interesting. Nicholas I is, he's a Virgo. And he's one of these, sometimes when you get into bloodline stuff, you get sort of the overbreeding effect. Nicholas I is kind of the byproduct of overbreeding. And he's continuing sort of what's going on with the social reforms that Alexander II started. And then he gets killed. And it's not good. Right? It is not good. And in fact, the guy who kills Alexander II's son, Nicholas I, is Lenin's brother. So now we have Alexander III. And this guy is the exact opposite of this guy. Social reform, fuck that. Fuck that. I am going to, if you are going to stir up some shit, oh, I got something for you. It's called the Okana. The Okana are like the first version of the Cheka. It's the secret police, and it's their job to infiltrate and rat out these radicals. So what is his son, Alexander III, do? He shoots Lenin's brother and the two other cohorts who planted the bomb that killed Nicholas I. Shoots him right in the town square of St. Petersburg. Just let this be a lesson. And then there's this weird kind of moment where, part of the Russian Guard decides, oh, it's our time. There's chaos. There's chaos. We can take the palace. We can overthrow Nicholas III. Oh, no, you can't. What does he do? He lines up the cannons, literally lines up the cannons right there, same square at St. Petersburg, and then lets them have it. It is bloody. There's blood, there's body parts, there's tissue, there's organs, there's the smell of burnt flesh, right? This is what happens. He's like, let that be a lesson. And Alexander III is a badass, total badass, huge man, big, strong, larger than life, huge. And he rules with an iron fist. He's not a reformer. In some ways, he sees what his father did as weakness. Very interesting story, right? And then he dies, and then you get Nicholas II, who eventually gets taken out by the same Bolsheviks. Man, this is such a fascinating period of history, and it's because it's tied to us. You know, it's tied to us. In this regard, we have this relationship with Russia, real Russia, not Soviet Russia, not whatever the fuck Lenin is running or Putin's running. I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there. It's like this weird hybrid of nationalism and World Economic Forum bootlicking. I don't know what they're doing. But this guy in this family were tight with the U.S. We were kind of like brothers in arms. And we wouldn't be a country without him. And absolutely tragic what happened to that family and that line. And once they're gone, well, welcome 20th century. Hello, Joe Stalin. There's your True Hemp Science story today. Alexander II. Wherever you are, great man, rest in peace. All right, that does it for today's show. Thank you for being here. If you like the show, tell your friends about it. They may like it too. Hit like, hit subscribe. Come join us on 15 Minutes, where I'm going to pull back some covers today. You're going to want to watch it. Going in. Thanks for being here. Take good care of yourselves. Treat each other well. God bless. Love you all. Robert Phoenix signing off.